Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news.
It's convention day 1 for the PLP. Find out more straight ahead.
Dwight Major, his wife and son brought before the courts for a number of charges. We've got the story coming up.
A man shot and killed in Kennedy subdivision Monday night. Now police need your help.
Police go door to door here in the Camp Road area to aid in the fight against crime. That story is coming up straight ahead.
Energy proposals are on the table as the government seeks to reduce the high cost of energy. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina McNeil. Topping news tonight, dozens of Progressive Liberal Party members descended on the Malia Nassau Beach Resort this morning for day 1 of the party's long-awaited national convention. But the day began with its fair share of drama. Jasmine Brown has the breakdown in this report. Jasmine?
That's right, Christina. Gibson took a few moments to respond to those claims, insisting they are baseless. But he says he's more focused on getting the convention up and running. But those early morning preparations hit a snag this morning after several arguments broke out among registering delegates and the police, who were controlling the crowd as they entered the registration room. The back and forth over who would be let in prompted this scolding from an officer.
I said that going to happen. I said that. Whoever that. Come back, Mr. Man, let me go. Let's go from the lights. Go the lights, let's go. Go adults.
Our news team attempted to speak to Gibson about the drama, however, he declined to comment. Senior officers working the event were also silent on the issue. But Gibson did respond to recent comments made by Sears, who was challenging Prime Minister Perry Christie for the party's top post. Earlier this week, Sears called for the PLP to be fair, suggesting that the appointment of significant numbers of stalwart councillors in the last week is an attempt to unfairly sway the outcome of the election. Gibson denied the claim.
The process that's in place now has always been in place. There's nothing new. There's nothing new about how you go about identifying who are the delegates. There's nothing new about how you go about appointing stalwart councillors. There's nothing new about how you go about electing delegates in the various constituencies. And so the process has always been in place. Stalwart councillors, once they're financial, they're able to be a delegate at the convention automatically. Each branch is able to nominate delegates.
Sears also highlighted the fact that he is being denied the opportunity to address the gathering.
I heard the issue of questioning whether or not the candidates were allowed to speak. Well, the person who was elected as leader will be allowed to speak the last night. And so no candidate, as far as I know, has been given any time to try and campaign from the platform. But of course, they are able to walk around freely and throughout the convention and canvass and campaign amongst all of the delegates and potential voters.
As for the preparations for the long-awaited convention, Gibson says they're well underway and they'll be fully prepared tonight. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown. Christina.
Thanks, Jasmine. RTV will be providing live coverage of the PLP convention right here on Channel 212 beginning at 8 p.m. Well, there will be a lot on the agenda over the next few days. As Gibson says, the party will systematically lay out its successes over the past 4.5 years. The convention chairman says they plan on hitting out at critics, particularly those who try to downplay the rise in employment.
We've recognized recently in particular is that everybody and anybody who would have nothing to do with the organization try to define who you are and what you would have accomplished. When information is given, for instance, by the Department of Statistics, everybody accepts it when it makes us look bad. Whenever it shows that we're making progress, they don't accept it, and I just don't understand it.
Prime Minister Perry Christie told PLP supporters on Sunday that no matter what people say about the party, his administration created 32,000 jobs this term. But Gibson admits that it was not all good news, as he says there is still work to be done.
Obviously, we are not in a position where we're saying we are satisfied. We have a lot of work to do. We had some successes, we had some failures as well. We will highlight all of those. But the net effect is we are making progress. The economy is doing better. Persons who were not working before are working now. I mean, the numbers don't lie. The numbers are the numbers. And so what we will do is we will tell our own story rather than allowing individuals who know nothing about the government or the organization to try and create a story on us.
The convention goes live at 8 p.m. right here on RTV. In other news, convicted Bahamian drug dealer Dwight Major is behind bars once again, and this time with his wife and son. This after the trio was charged with 2 different counts today. Kyle Joaquin was in court and tells us more.
Just a few months after he was released from prison, Dwight Major, his wife Keva, and their 24-year-old son found themselves back before a magistrate today.
48-year-old Dwight Major will spend the next few weeks on remand at the Bahamas Department of Corrections along with his son, Ravon Major, and wife Keva as they await their trial in Magistrates Court set for March 14th, 15th, and 16th. They were charged in Magistrates Court number 9 with possession of an unlicensed firearm and possession of ammunition. According to police, on Sunday, January 22nd, the family was found in possession of a black .45 pistol and 11 rounds of ammunition. All 3 pleaded not guilty to the charges. During the summer of 2015, Dwight Major was released from a U.S. federal prison early. He and his wife were extradited to West Palm Beach in April 2008 to face charges of conspiracy to import cocaine and marijuana. Attorney Coach Smith once again represents Major along with his family. In court Tuesday afternoon, Smith told the magistrate that Major had expressed concern to him that there had been unusual movements at Major's home since Major's been in police custody since Sunday, and that he fears for his client's safety as Major has received threats the former drug kingpin is about to be extracted. The attorney also stressed concerns surrounding Major's health as he hasn't been able to take much-needed medication. Smith said they had been given a runaround for the keys to the Major's residence to obtain Major's medication for his heart condition. But after a back and forth, Major informed the court that the keys had been located and are at his property. However, his attorney was still concerned about the treatment of his client, saying he feels Major is once again about to go through a process where he will be treated inhumanely. Smith requested that an order be granted for Major's family to retrieve his medication from the home, as the attorney is concerned about Major's condition worsening. Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt said the most she could do is place a note to have Major examined by a physician. During the court proceedings, there were times when Keva could be seen gently touching her son's back in what appeared to be a show of support. The family was unable to get bail in the magistrate's court and chose to have their trial heard in the Nassau Street Court. All 3 will remain on remand for the next 7 weeks. The chief magistrate told the prosecution that should be sufficient time to prepare, start, and conclude its case. Reporting for our news, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Well, police are investigating the circumstances that led to the shooting death of a man Monday night in Kennedy Subdivision. Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean told reporters on the scene that a man was standing in front of a home shortly after 9 p.m. when 2 men in a dark-colored vehicle approached and opened fire.
The man was pronounced dead on the scene. Police are on the scene actively investigating this matter. We are launching an appeal to members of the public who might have been canvassing this area, who might have been walking the area. If you have any information, immaterial, insignificant in my scene, we want you to contact police.
Dean says the police are aware of the fear of crime in the Bahamas, but police need the cooperation of the public to bring criminals to justice.
Despite all the positive things police are doing, I can tell you since the year has begun, police have recovered a number of firearms off the street. We are arresting a number of persons. We are still being blighted by these incidents of shootings and resulting in death of young men. But I can tell you, based on our analysis thus far, that we have zeroed us into just a small grouping of persons. We are targeting a number of prolific offenders.
Dean says police are making strides in their mission to prevent and detect crime. Dean insists that everyone has a responsibility to keep the Bahamas safe.
We are very confident that if we bring some of these prolific offenders, when I talked about prolific offenders, I talk about people who are in and out of the systems. A number of these persons are on bail for serious crimes to include murder, armed robbery, and rape. And they have no intentions of changing. They are hell-bent on committing criminal offenses.
Anyone with information is asked to contact police at 911, 919, or Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. Still to come on our news, police hit the ground in a crime hotspot. Government touts the success of its revamped mortgage relief plan. And top women golfers from around the world get set to tee off in paradise. That's coming up when our news returns.